so that we are recording the session officially. Okay, and let me, so Flock doesn't interrupt us all evening. Let me put on my do not disturb here. So, okay, everybody, you made it through the first official week of taking classes. Congratulations to everybody, especially all of those who have gotten their CVEs. I didn't write a list this week because we had so many people, but I'm so proud of all of you. Like on Tuesday evening, I'm like, I've just got to do it because, you know, there were so many people that did it that first week that I was just like, I just got to, you know, it's like accountability. It's like, you know, you get in the gym, for example, and you're the person that's doing boot camp with you, they're doing push-ups, so you're trying to just match them. That's how I felt last week. So, so I'm so proud of everybody. If you earned your CBE, then don't forget to share it with us in Flock. Don't forget to share it with us. We have our own Facebook page now, which is going to be public, so you can post it there. I saw some people posting it in Digital Underground. So proud of you. Also, I posted mine to my LinkedIn because Blockchain Council enabled us to do that. So yeah, so that was, and I actually got a, oops, I'm sorry, Nita. Let me, hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, so it was fun. So Dr. Keisha, how'd you do this week?
I got mine too this week. So I was happy about that myself too. I had the goal to try to get it by Friday so I could kind of enjoy the weekend and then do the Python thing on Monday, just jump right in. But I ended up fooling around with that and got week 1 of Python done.
Oh, so, wow. You're doing better than me.
Yeah,
I got to go touch that again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, that's what we're doing in our Saturday group. We were handling that. So.
Okay. Maybe hit stop video and maybe that'll help with, yeah. Okay. All righty then. So, Anita, just put yourself on mute for me, please, if you wouldn't mind, because I can't figure out how to put you back as an attendee. So we'll figure that out for next time. Yeah. So, well, I wanted to go over a few things tonight, and of course get the two of you to chime in, and of course you all have some announcements as well. So let's get to it. You know, I always share a couple of articles with you that I found that I think are pretty interesting. So I wanted to start off with, let's see, I think I messed that up here. This one here, I have two this week that I wanted to share with you. The first one is just because I think it's so interesting about healthcare. You think that, you know, doctors are smart and they stay up to date and they stay informed. This is from Becker's Health IT and CIO report. And it basically says here, almost half of physicians aren't aware of what blockchain is. And the article really discusses the fact that they surveyed down here, they surveyed 3,700 members of this global social network of physicians. And they asked the members, is blockchain technology ready to enter the healthcare world? And basically 49% of US respondents and 47% of global respondents weren't even aware of what the technology was. So of the remaining physicians who were familiar with the technology, oh, Derek, do you want to be a panelist or you want to be out of view?
I'm fine for now.
No, that's okay. I was having trouble. I can take out your video if you want and mute you. Or if you want to be on, you can be on for the week.
That's fine.
Okay. So going back to the article here, of the 1,653 physicians that were familiar with the technology, 19% indicated blockchain was ready to enter healthcare. So that's like, 80% is basically saying, no, it's not. Compared to 25% of physicians worldwide, and 32% of physicians said blockchain was not ready to enter healthcare. So this is not so much just about healthcare, really. This is just about where people are in their knowledge of what the blockchain is and the use cases of it and how it can actually help or potentially benefit their industry. So I wanted to get my panelist point of view. What do you think about this article?
I had a question first. Of those, what it was, 1,953 U.S. Physicians. How many of them knew what the blockchain was?
They were familiar. So that group was familiar with what the blockchain was.
And only 19% of them said it was ready, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I think they're right. The blockchain isn't ready for prime time.
Yeah.
It's not. All of these things are ideas, and things are crashing and burning. Like, this is a long-term play. This is 2 to 3 years before mass adoption, I think. And you got to remember, with I've been in healthcare for 20 years, and we move slow. That's why there's an opportunity. Like, that's why I got my own company in healthcare, because they move slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been working on some stuff for 10 years already, and no one's done it yet. Like 10 years. Like next year will be 10 years. And it's like, because they just move so slow with all of this stuff. I mean, they got the EHRs online, on board, all through the Obama years, the electronic health records. They were incentivizing companies, incentivizing physicians' offices and medical plans in order to switch everything over to electronic health records. So eventually, I'm sure that's what's going to happen now too. I think that's going to happen with the blockchain. When they find the use case and find that it's better than what they're currently using, then the government, like CMS, Medicare, Medicaid, CMS, and they will pay physicians to go on have their systems placed on a blockchain.
Yeah, it's going to end up having to be a federal requirement, probably. You're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Keisha, what do you think?
I was just going to say, I would imagine that it's the security side is probably their biggest hang up once they even find out about what it even is. But I think it would be a good time for them to, get together and collaborate and start to figure out use cases once they just find out basically, what distributed ledger technologies are about. So, again, I'm excited because it sounds like, that gives us definitely in, I like how you said at one point, Dwayne, you were saying that in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king,
right? Right. And that's the whole thing with it.
Yeah, I see opportunity for us, that's for sure.
Yeah. Derek, what do you think?
I think more so the interoperability. So if they can get interoperability across blockchains, I think that's where it really is going to be able to expand. So with everything being kind of in a tunnel, that makes it tough because we're talking about everybody who needs healthcare. So you've got to be able to cross blockchains in order to do that. So I think that's really going to be the big thing. Interoperability, once we can truly have that across blockchains, I think that's really where it's going to take off.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that Dwayne said that I want to reiterate is that this is going to take time to be adopted. So it's a good thing. But again, if we're looking for a quick dollar tomorrow or next week or next month, or even this time next year, that may not happen. We may be 2, 3, 4 years out. But I was speaking with someone this weekend about Allie Brown. I don't know if all of you are familiar with her. She was a woman who is very big now, but she started out teaching people about email marketing back when it was really easy to get emails from people, like way back in the day. And I was saying to the person, and we both agreed that a lot of it is just timing. If you're in the right place at the right time and you've been preaching a message for 2 years, and all of a sudden someone finds you and they're like, wow, this person's been talking about this for 2 years. They must be the guru of. Then all of a sudden they make millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars. They get speaking engagements where they're paid obscene amounts of money, etc. They get huge followings, and we can do the same thing too. It's just about being consistent, like picking a lane, whatever your lane is going to be, and being consistent with it. And if we are, then there's nothing that we can't do. So it's funny that all of you had close to the same comment as well about the security and interoperability, because I want to show you my second article, which is from American Banker. And here we go. So I'm not going to read the entire article to you, but I wanted to show you this pie chart here, because the article is really about why the blockchain hasn't been adopted yet. And it's a FinTech article because it's in American Banker magazine or blog here. But the number one reason is because of the business case and the cost. They can't figure out the business case of it for their organization. The second reason is what Derek said, the interoperability. So they're looking at what they're currently using versus the blockchain, and they can't really figure out how to engage the two products together. The third is legal and regulatory. And I think that might have more to do with the cryptocurrency piece of it than the blockchain. And then the fourth, which I think is interesting, is the maturity of the technology. For FinTech, they just don't feel like it's mature enough yet for them to adopt. But I wanted to get some ideas from the three of you in regards to what you think about this and how this affects us as potential blockchain consultants.
Well, if you look at the first one, that is us.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest one, right? So, because the key is, when you work in consulting world, consultants come in and they kind of teach the organization, like you said, about the new technology. This is how you can use it. So before even technology's really out there, we can kind of be in the doors, getting them ready for when this train gets to running. So we go in early, we show them this is what it can do, and this is how your organization can use it. And then we bring in our tech folks, and we just really make the train keep going. So
exactly.
I think, like I said,
yeah. I agree. I mean, I think I read an article similar to this, and a lot of these, I saw a lot of partnerships break up because they couldn't find the business case for it to be in FinTech, and the banking industry is not going to. They've been using Swift for 30 years or something like that. So because it's critical stuff. I mean, it has to work, and they're not going to be They're not going to be the first people to use it. I'll tell you that much. They're not going to be the first. So I think these guys will end up using the blockchain in 5 years. In 5 years, all the other industries, and these are but I still think that healthcare might adopt it faster than the other ones because of all the data that we are responsible for, like Remy, that token. I was in that ICO, REMME. They're working on things where you don't need a password to get your information. So like the Equifax hack, that couldn't happen because the companies don't hold passwords. Period. They don't hold passwords. It's SSL certificates that are distributed along the blockchain, and you have it works. You can only open it from your device, so it's a device specific website. So you'll have the two-factor authentication, but with no passwords. So once you get in there, the only way that somebody else can get into your information is if they stole your machine itself. and even then
Interesting.
this would be harder. So and that works on a blockchain. So I think that if once those things end up working correctly, then I think that everything else will fall into place, because that's safer. That will be safer than what they're doing now.
Right. Right. Well, I think anything, there are some other use cases I'm seeing in regards to shipping companies, anything that has to do with how goods will travel from one location to another. I could see that as being some sort of use case where you're able to have the old system, and the new system running concurrently for a year, let's say, just to make sure everything is operating appropriately. So I think there are some non-critical industries that may end up adopting it first, because when it works, then they will be able to save tens of millions of dollars a year. The other thing that I noticed here is between the business case, the interoperability, and the maturity of the technology, that's like 60-something% of this pie chart. So when that's taken care of, then a lot of the other stuff will end up falling into place. And we can, like everyone was saying, we can find the use cases for it. So, yes, I wanted to show those. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add too that, back to the opportunities, like you guys were saying, many of the traditional type of industries have a real hard time just kind of retrofitting something new in. So it probably would make, it would probably breed a lot more of entrepreneurial opportunities, like startups who get get contracts, and they get to play around with it and really lock in how it works, and then they get bought out by the big companies, because they got to try it out, that kind of thing. So I think it really is a time, we live in a time that's right for the entrepreneur right now.
Right.
So, we're doing the right thing.
Which is what I was saying in regards to us thinking about maybe some products, whether they are industry specific or some sort of use case specific. And that way, if we create something that could be worth $100 million one day or something like that, and all of a sudden some big company says, hey, we're heavy into the industry, we want to buy that company, so there are some interesting things that can happen. And I definitely see the entrepreneurial spirit and the use cases that are coming out. I know that we have our HR group within Flock. We have our healthcare group within Flock. I don't know if there are other groups, industries that are starting up, but keep those industries coming, and preferably you'll make those specific pages public so that as new people join us, they can see those pages and join in on those conversations. I understand that you want to keep your study groups private, but in some committees private, if you're doing like a private
special projects.
Projects and things like that, I definitely get that. But hopefully the industry pages, when you're setting them up, I'm hoping that you would keep them public so that new people could come in and join in on the conversations in regards to those industries. So with that, let's see here. I just wanted to make a couple of announcements in regards to the courses. So the first thing is, if you have not taken your Certified Blockchain Expert course, if someone would put it in the chat for me, that's blockchain-council.org. It's the Certified Blockchain Expert course. It is $97 to get your certification. And one of the tips we learned last week, thanks to Derek and Anita, that I used absolutely was If it's a round, that means it's one answer. And if it's a square, it means there's multiple answers. So that saved me a lot of heartache. But I will say overall, I really enjoyed the course. I didn't absolutely get everything, but I, leveraged my study group for some stuff, and other stuff. I'm going to start getting into Block Geeks and just figuring it out. So we're not going to learn everything in a week, but definitely I will say that I learned a lot from that class.
Can I ask a question about the Block Geeks though? I just tried to log in and I couldn't get in.
Try to log in in incognito mode.
Right, that's what you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not do that. Okay.
It should be fine like that.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Good to know. I forgot about that too.
Right. And then if people are trying to buy Block Geeks, if there is another group of 15, 20 people that want to get in on Block Geeks together, just start something in the chat. So we have our Flock chat that is available for you to do that. Or you could pay for it yourself, and I think it's $30 a month or something like that. Dwayne speaks very highly of it. I have to admit, I haven't been in there yet.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I wouldn't do 1520 because they changed the rules. I told you, like, I don't know what you were looking at. You said it was still the same thing, but they changed the rules. They changed those rules that night. I was getting those 503 errors because I was trying to buy it right after our meeting.
Okay.
And I think what happened was I think they saw a lot of us inside of the webinar, and they were like, they redid their things. They were like, oh, but they're not going to shut us down because whatever infrastructure they have in place, they got to still grandfather everyone else in, so no one's going to be doing that. But they did write down, oh, if you do this, this is against our rules and regulations. Like they wrote that up. I was like, oh wow, look what they did. So what that was a teaching lesson for me particularly, because if you noticed, both companies did the same things.
Mm-hmm.
Both companies did the same thing, played with their prices and stuff. After I said, I think that we're a big group. I think 100 of us or more of us over this time started hitting that thing up.
And I think that they may have done something more too, because I've just tried to do the incognito, and it puts you in the register mode, even though I went through the sign in and just putting in the same information. I wasn't sure what name to put in, I guess. Because
I'll get you.
I sent you a screenshot of what I'm up against. I was wondering if other people are having the same issue.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So yeah, it's possible. We've got 96 people on this call today. We've got close to 150 people, I think, in our Facebook page, and over 200 people in our email list. So, and we're just getting started. So yeah, people are tagging each other, in regards to what we're doing, tagging their friends. So it's possible. It's only going to get bigger from there. But then what we need to do, and I will absolutely need help with this, is organizing our group so that we can go in with like real discounts or being able to get real discounts because of our buying power. So I know that there are some people that are very good at stuff like that. So we're going to definitely need to depend on you for that. I also want to make sure that everyone knows that we are taking Python for Everybody. So I'm going to share my screen again here and just show you, this is Coursera. So we are taking Python for Everybody.
Well, that's not the one. Just put just search Python in the top.
Oh, it's getting started.
Python for Everybody. Yeah, there you go. You have to click it.
Well, I
no, you got to click it. Go back to search. Go back to search.
My computer is slow.
Oh, sorry.
This computer is slow here.
Oh, you want me to do it? I can do it. Let me share the screen. Oh, you got it? Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That one. The first one.
I know. It's slow. So it's the Python for Everybody course. Now,
Right.
see, I'm trying to enroll in this and it's not letting me pay. So I'm not quite sure. I know that other people had this problem too. I'm going to have to find the phone number for them.
I'm going to say anytime you have any problems with these things, try incognito mode sometimes, or clear cache. Incognito mode is going to be easier than clearing the cache.
How
It's
do you
probably
do
something that has-
incognito mode?
Oh, just hit the hamburger menu on the right-hand side of your Chrome. The hamburger menu. It looks like a hamburger.
Looks like a hamburger. Let's see. I see books here.
Go
You know what?
again.
I'm in Firefox. Maybe
But it should be there too. Yeah, there you go. That's a hamburger menu.
Okay.
And you see? Oh, see, there's a mask. Click the one with the mask, the icon.
Oh, okay. New private window. Okay.
Yeah,
And
just
then
try
put in
it.
Coursera?
Right there.
Okay.
Clear my cache.
Yeah, I would say anytime you have problems with these things, just try one of those modes.
Okay. Yeah, because I did my 7-day free trial a long time ago, and I'm willing to give them their $49 a month. They just aren't taking it. So, well, anyway, I will try that later.
All right.
But yeah, so it's Python for Everybody that we are taking. So Dwayne, number one question we always get is, why are we taking Python? So if you would, again, run through that for everyone in regards to that.
Right. Python is really easy to learn. Out of all of we could have done this with C++, C++, C#. We could have done this with JavaScript. We could have done this with anything. It's just that Python is a very easy language to learn. Like they have, and it's fast. You can do other things with it. So if you walk away from this, if you don't want to do the blockchain stuff, if you learn Python, you can still be able to make web applications. If you learn Django, that goes with Python. You'll be able to do data science. You'll be able to do different things with Python. And you could just make little apps to make your life a little bit easier. Like there's different programs you can make, like little different calculators and stuff. You'll learn to do a lot with them. But basically, it's not about Python. It's really about learning how to program and learning the data structures and how Solidity works. Because Solidity is the language that they're using for the blockchain. But by the time we're done with this, they probably have other things that you could just do Python with for the blockchain. Like, so there are I think Lisk is one that uses JavaScript. Lisk is a blockchain that uses JavaScript, so you don't have to learn Solidity like you have to do in the Ethereum blockchain. So again, it's natural. When you read some code from on Python, you can pretty much figure out what it's trying to do. It's like print screen. This, it's very easy language, and it's like what I really liked about it is that it's fast. It's and it's what I want to say, how powerful Python is to do a certain function. I was sold on Python by that. To do a certain function with Python, with Java. With Java, will take you like 20 lines. Python could do the same thing in 2 lines.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's a lot more.
It's concise and clean.
You can get a lot more done with Python than you can in terms of time. You get a lot more done, a lot quicker. So if you know Python, like I had a couple of people inside of this group was like, oh yeah, this is great, because I wanted to learn Python. Like some guys were working on their PhDs and stuff like that. This is something that can be applied to a lot of different things. So it's not just like if you go through this and you say, hey, this blockchain thing is not for me. Like again, you can still use Python in your regular life and just add on. And it's been around so long that we can have plugins for different things. So when you learn how to do Python, you'll get like code snippets that you could plug in to do other things that you don't have to program. You just have to know where it's supposed to go, inside of your programming. So we're going to learn a lot of different things, how to scrape information. So we could, when it's time to make our website and stuff, we could get our, you can make stuff work. You know, you can make a scraper. You see how Cherie is always coming up with all of those apps, sending all these articles. You can just make a program to scrape all those articles off the internet and just serve it on the website. You know, without you even have to look at it. It's just like, oh, the new ones for today, here they are.
Yeah,
So,
which I do need. The only reason I like looking for the articles actively is because it forces me to read them. Which makes me a smarter blockchain consultant, because I do read stuff before I post it, at least the first couple of paragraphs. So yeah. So we have a ton of questions here. I'm going to do some rapid fire. One of the questions from Corey: when are the assignments open for the Python course on Coursera? They're open today. So today, Python for Everybody opened today. The next time it's open is on April 16th. So I know some people said that they aren't ready to start the course today. You can start either in the next couple of weeks, that's perfectly fine, or you can start on April 16th if you want to do it then. It's okay. So Corey is saying it's saying March 26th, but it also shows as locked. I was able to get in earlier today.
Yeah, it doesn't lock you out of the course. You can still get in. You can still catch up if you
I wonder
like.
if he's talking about the progression. You do one thing and then it unlocks, and then you get to the next thing and it unlocks.
It's possible, because I had like the first 3 videos in that other course I was in unlocked, and then there were other ones that were locked. Exactly. Probably because they want you to pay your next $49. They don't want you to. Yeah. Yeah, look, I understand the game. I'm not upset at them. Corey's also asking about the study group days. So we have people that have study groups every day of the week, pretty much. So what you want to do, Corey, is you want to think about the day that works for you, the day and time that works for you. And once you're a part of our inner circle and you get into Flock, just post, hey, I'm looking for a study group on Wednesday evening. Does somebody have a spot open? And people will raise their hand and say yes, you can join our study group. So that's how we've been doing it. And if you are asking yourself, what's the inner circle? Well, I'm so glad you asked, so I will answer that right now. So the way that our group works is that we are first and foremost based on education here. So if you have signed up for Zoom, if you have signed up for, really it's Zoom, if you're part of this group or in this meeting, then you should be on our email list. And as part of, members of our email list, we will give you our course curriculum and the things that we're taking. First, we are taking the Certified Blockchain Expert course in order to get the base knowledge. And then we're taking Python for Everybody so that we can converse with developers and be able to do things as generalist developers. And then we may eventually take Solidity or some other courses in regards to the blockchain in order to become blockchain experts. So you get that completely free. You get our special report, should you become a blockchain consultant, completely free. And you can decide that you've got that information and you want to come and be a part of this meeting on the 4th Monday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we welcome you. If you decide you want a little bit more, you can join what's called the Inner Circle. And what the Inner Circle is it's a group of us that do a few things. Number one, we have study groups of 4 to 6 people that get together, and you can find a study group. You meet once a week. You go through the lessons, make sure you aren't stuck with things. Number two, we're going to have apprenticeships, because you can learn all the theory, but if you don't have the practicum to go with it, then the chances of you becoming a great blockchain consultant is diminished. So we're going to also have apprenticeships. And then you get access to our group called Flock, FLOCK, which is our internal communication system, where you can speak with other people that are either in the same industry as you are or has the same interests as you do. And there's just a lot of information that flows through that group. And then ultimately job opportunities are going to come from Flock, and business opportunities. We're talking about several businesses that we're looking at starting. You can choose to belong to one or two or multiple businesses, or maybe you want to be an investor in some of those businesses. That would be great as well. So, you know, there's a lot that's happening within the inner circle. So again, there are multiple ways that you could be a part of this group. So from now until the end of March, it's $60 for the year to be a part of the inner circle. On April 1st, we're increasing that to $100 for the year to be a part of the inner circle. So just want to let people know that as well. Somebody's asking, can you pay directly with debit card? Because of your PayPal. Priska, send me an email and I will send you a Square invoice. That's what I've been doing with people who are having trouble with PayPal. So next is from Ishmael. He's asking, business analysis and project management focused on legacy system integration and digital transformation will yield numerous consulting ops. Yeah, you're right. I think a lot of project managers are going to come from this group. You're absolutely right. Pam is asking about the site again. I'm not sure which site you're referring to. I guess it's Coursera, COURSERA.org. If someone would put that in the chat for Pam, I would really appreciate it. BlockGeeks. Someone's asking, is BlockGeeks a supplement to help out with the Coursera course? Dwayne, do you think it's a great supplement?
Listen, it's not going to help you with Coursera. No, it's not going to help you with Coursera. I have, for the people that are in the group who join up with this, who get into the inner circle, I'll provide extra material. Like I have got material. I've got a lot of material. I have stuff that is going to help a lot of people with the Python training. But no, this wouldn't really help you with it. I mean, because Python is just teaching you basically how to understand computer science and how to understand how any of these languages work. So Python is the first language, right? So once you learn how to speak a language, you can learn another language. That's how this works in the coding world. Once you know how to do Python, it's easier to learn JavaScript. It's easier to learn anything that's an actual language. So this wouldn't help you with the BlockGeeks wouldn't help you with that. They're only talking about blockchain technology and all the latest and the newest. I added that, and I think it's a great thing because it's a great addition, because that's going to help us with our education as well, because they touch upon more things than just what we did in that the blockchain CBE course. That was just like basic, really basic. Now these guys, they talk more about the history. They get into the details of it. If you look at all of the guides that they have. So that I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
This is a more comprehensive look at blockchain technologies and, at large. Is that what you're saying, Dwayne? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of say it's like Encyclopedia Britannica. It's like pulling out the encyclopedia and getting a lesson in what a term is or a concept is. So, okay, so Sydney is asking, to be clear, are the study groups for Python or for becoming a certified blockchain consultant, #1, or both? So we do it for both. So you can be in a study group for your certified blockchain expert class, for your Python class. There are people that aren't taking Python because they already know programming, but they've decided to take another course. You can do that together. We We are not forcing people to take Python. This is a suggested, highly suggested curriculum. But if you and 5 other people want to get together and take a different class, you can do so. Okay? What's the name of our Facebook page? Beverly is asking this. It's Black Blockchain Consultants. We have a YouTube page and a Twitter page as well. Ishmael's asking, so proud of this group. There are 2 kinds of people in the world, folks who can code and folks who can't. This group is entering the 1%. Love it. Thank you, Ishmael. Rob is saying, I registered for Python for beginners. Will I have a problem? See if you can change your registration to Python for everybody, Rob.
Yeah, because the thing is, Rob, like, I didn't just pick this out of a hat. Like, I looked at these things, these courses. I've done some of them before. This Python one is highly. I know people that have done it before, and I know Python. So I just thought it would be a good. It's by a top tier school, and it's a really good program. So I don't think you're gonna go wrong by having a Python class, but this is a specialization now. And I'm gonna say this. I was starting with the end in mind. At the end of the day, we're doing all this learning and everything, but I need to know who knows what. Like, at the end of the day, when we say we may get a business out of this, and a consulting business, a real consulting business with real money and real clients, I need to know that the people that are here actually know what they're doing. So that's why I was, when Cherie got the apprenticeships and everything, they need to know that you know what you're doing. Like, you'll be learning on the job, but it's the minimum amount of things that you're going to know. So by going through the Python courses for everybody and giving you the materials that I have, I know that you'll be able to develop one for a smart contract. Because if you know how to code it, you should be able to know how to understand it. And we also have Dr. Keisha, right? So Keisha, so she can help us learn how to teach it to other people, because that's what a consultant is basically doing. We're going to be teaching these people what this is, and hopefully with the breadth of, we're spread out all over the country. I don't know everybody's what business is everybody in, but I think that we should be able to get some consulting out of this. And then, so let's say, for instance, I am a representative of our group in New York, but I get a gig. I get a contract that for the company to, I don't know, $80,000 to get something done. You know what I mean? I can't do all of that work by myself. I'm going to tap people in this group to help get that thing together. So that's the kind of deal. That's why I kind of was kind of strict with the with the blockchain learning. Like, it's not going to be, Python is going to be as easy as it gets in terms of learning a programming language. That's the easiest. Is if you can't do Python, then it's not going to be for you. Well, I guess you could learn that little, but it's a real program. I mean, I guess you could do that MIT one for kids. I forget the name of it, but that's not a real programming language. This is a powerful language. Python is powerful. Like, it really can do you can really do some great things with it. So that's what it is.
Yeah, and I just want to encourage people, I am not a technical person. I've never considered myself a technical person. I've always been like a late adopter of stuff, but I am going in, I'm afraid, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I getting myself into? But if we don't ever try anything, we'll never get anything. So right now with the internet, it's what you see is what you get, but it wasn't always that way. There was a time where you had to be a hardcore programmer in order to work on the internet. Well, guess what? Those people were the ones that got in at Google at 2 cents a share. And now I don't know what Google is selling for these days, but it's a whole lot of money. So, we
and I got to tell you, I don't mean to cut you off, but
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you just bring up exactly what you're saying. in 1993, 1994, like I made that Afro Mall, which is now basically Amazon.com. They were successful. I wasn't. I wasn't successful because I didn't understand the business part. I just knew that this technology was great, and I thought that Black people should get their businesses on the internet, and they didn't understand it, and we burned through all our money. But to Cherie's point, one of my friends that around that same time, he didn't do any courses. He didn't even finish college. He was at Clark Atlanta, and he dropped out, started reading these big Cisco books, these big Unix Cisco books. He just was able to get a job in Wall Street because he knew a little bit about this stuff. He was able to just talk, and somebody liked him, and they found out he knew nothing, but he was in, and then he just learned. And I you know, he's making like $250 a year because those guys just say, hey, the hedge funds. He got that job. Jamal, he worked for About.com because this thing was so crazy that they just needed to grab anybody. This guy knew he knew how to get through an interview. Said some stuff. So he said some stuff and it worked. So I think that this might just be another one of those because the landscape is going to change. I don't know how many jobs or what particular jobs are going to be lost because of this blockchain. But I think legal jobs is going to be lost. I know a lot of legal jobs are going to be lost with the escrow stuff. But yeah, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that just rang into my head, like exactly what you were saying. So go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. So we know there are a lot of legal jobs, real estate jobs. You know, if you're doing any kind of verification type of job, the blockchain is about to get rid of that. You know, so I have said multiple times that Amazon Fresh Store is what the future is going to look like. There's, you know, you think you're going to go and drive Uber when things get slow in your house or you need to make an extra buck. No, autonomous driving is taking over everything. So either it's time for us to step up, and that's why one of the things I want is everybody to aim for $150,000 minimum salary. If you're not there, then there's something up, you know, and let the group help you figure out how you can get there. But really, we need to be true middle class in this country. If you live in a city, is 150 minimum. So, you know, a couple other questions here. Pam is asking, how long does it take to get the CBE? Takes 4 hours, and then the test is an hour. So 5 hours total. Jabari's asking, how much is it? I'm not sure what it is, Jabari, but if you're talking about the CBE course, it's $97. If you're talking about the Inner Circle, it's $60 per year. And that is until Saturday, March 31st. So, and then afterwards it goes up to $100. Jabari's asking, so we have until Saturday to pay the $60. Is that separate from the Python course? Yes, that is. Yes, that is. But what Dwayne and I really worked hard on was finding courses that didn't cost a lot of money. So, because some courses that were referred or recommended were very expensive. Oh, you answered Tawana's question. Okay. I was going to answer it. Go
ahead.
Well, because I wanted to respond to this. So Tawana was asking, in regards to the consulting business, she's saying that she's not a coder or a developer, but she's interested in being a project manager in the consulting arena. Learning this language will allow me to communicate effectively between IT and the business. That is correct, Tawana. Is there a place for someone like me in your consulting business? So, and Dwayne wrote, of course, absolutely. There may be even a PMP portion to this group as well. So I will tell you that we don't have like any like a business plan or a full outline for this consulting business. This is just something we are talking about. I will admit, when I first came on and Dwayne and I started talking, I was thinking small, he was thinking big. And then we realized this weekend that we were talking like two different things. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. Are you saying that you want to do? Okay, so Cherie has to readjust her thinking here. In terms of, okay, if we want to be like the Black Accenture, for example, what would something like that look like? Because I will admit, I wasn't quite, thinking that, but now I'm understanding where Dwayne is coming in terms of we can leverage each other and have locations in all sorts of cities throughout the United States, and then figuring out what that would look like. And some of us would give our talents, and some of us may be investors, and some of us may be both, and some people may bring business to the table, and all of that. Well, that's going to take some time for us to figure out and structure and put together. And you know me, I don't come to the group unless I have like my stuff together. Like, okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think, kind of thing. So give me, I would say give me until the end of May, early June to kind of put something in my mind. And then this will only be for Insider Circle people. Inner Circle, sorry. This will only be for Inner Circle people. So we'll do a special Zoom meeting just for the Inner Circle, where we'll talk a little bit more about what our plans are.
And I was also thinking, like, as we were talking, like, I was thinking that we don't really, like, we did this for a couple of weeks, and this core group is gonna, I hate to make it sound like that DU stuff, but this core group is a special group, and it's gonna be up to us to make everything great. So, I would say that we even like stop the new additions until we get through the first class, and then probably open it up again around October when we were planning to do the big our presentations and everything else, when we get this whole, because if we're going to do this within this group, I don't want all of our stuff that they're thinking about to be public. Right. You know what I mean? It should be within the group. It should be within the people that are actually serious about it. That's why, and I'm so sorry, Cherie, this happened so quickly, it just happened so quickly. We just started working and we didn't get to really talk about stuff. But yeah, because I think that this blockchain stuff is really exciting. I just wanted to strike while the iron was hot. And I know, and Cherie's the same way. She'll make this up. We had an idea. She's got a website up tomorrow. Like, boom. Like, that's what I saw. Like, with the DRC, she's like, oh.
And you know what else I see that we all have in common is we absolutely, each and every one of us in this group are not trying to miss the wave this time. I mean,
right.
There's just been too many of us who've been saying the same thing. I mean, we all have been on this internet thing, and it's crazy. And this is awesome to be at 3.0 and getting in. I cannot have it pass me. It cannot.
Right. So that's what I was thinking. This is an initial group, and like what Tawana was saying, yeah, PMP. I know a lot of girls that are, I hate to say it, but yeah, I know a lot of consultants, and I could talk to them and they'll pretty much tell me how to set a business up. Because they just moved away from it. But all these girls are pretty much MBAs and stuff like that. But here I have a lot of educated people. Like, so once you have your degree or a advanced degree and a PMP, that should be fine. Like if we were looking to get a job somewhere else, I just need to know that people know how to do the work, and that's why I picked that. CBE if you know, everyone that went through it is an easy course. It was like a something to say that you are willing to, or that you're serious, right? So we have these conversations, but now you got to put down a little $100 and you got to actually do the stuff and perform decently. So that was, for me, that was gonna get rid of the people who really weren't serious about doing this, because because at the end of the day, but you know what? I'll talk to you about this. We have to talk more about it, because I'm having these ideas, and maybe we'll figure out how to do this. But it's not going to, because there is two pieces to this, right? We're going to have the education, but in doing this is where we're going to be building the education. This initial group, we will be building the first educational component. So the next go around for the next inaugural class, they'll have the app. They'll have stuff that we did already. We probably wouldn't even be doing Block Geeks and all of this stuff because we have our own proprietary stuff that we've done.
Cool.
You know,
I love it.
So there's a whole bunch of pieces to this, and all of that's going to cost some money.
Well, why don't we do this? Since you started talking about it, your education committee that you and Dr. Keisha are working on, tell us what you guys are doing.
Well, presently, we are just going to be outlining the CBE course that we all came through, in which case that's why it is the prerequisite to be a part of that group. And then, so doing the outline, we're going to fill in the blanks, for those who have actually gone through the testing part. Many of us have already said that, hey, that wasn't in the presentation, so we'll be able to fill things in. And particularly with us being all in, or at least many of us in Block Geeks, we'll be able to get that up-to-date information and put things in place, such that it will be a resource that then we can potentially market, as Dwayne has already said, and certainly benefit the family for our own education and support.
Right. So we have some new people here tonight, so I will let you know that we are starting a school, kind of like Udemy. We have purchased blockchainclasses.org. We've also purchased blockchain-classes.com, and we also have blackblockchainschool.com. So we'll see how all of that digital intellectual property comes together. But I was telling Dr. Keisha, or suggesting to Dr. Keisha, that we could call the non-Black school something like the Center for Blockchain Studies or the Blockchain Institute or something like that. Something very non-ethnic.
Generic. Exactly.
Say that again.
Exactly. But I'm excited about this time. I am super excited about the Black piece, though, because this is really kind of the heart of this technology. It seems like they're trying to be socially aware and emancipate the unbanked and all that kind of thing. So we definitely need that other side, but I'm excited about bringing this to our people in particular, get us all, because this is beautiful. I'm telling you, so many of us like-minded individuals. I'm so excited about this. My goodness. So good to meet each and every one of you guys, everybody in here.
Yeah, so if people are interested in joining that product education committee, is it open or did you guys make it private for now?
You know what? We still have the open part because we have people in there, but I put after the fact that we needed them to be, already have their CBE. I think most people who signed up did, but there is a little link in there for you guys to, whoever's already signed that little sheet, to make sure you hit that link and take the little survey and then produce upload your actual credentials, so we have that on file. So just so that we can be organized towards this next iteration of the monetary piece that may happen, or the actual product piece. So it seems to be like things are happening fast. We just want to make sure our stuff is in order. So if you haven't hit that link that's on that same sheet that you signed up on, or maybe you're in the group, I think that's where I put it. Forget where it is. Maybe I'll put it on the paper too. But just make sure that you have your CBE before you join the group.
Okay. So anybody who has a teaching bug, please see Dr. Keisha and Dwayne. I don't know anything about what they're
like. And what? And let me say that too. You don't necessarily have to be an educator. If you are interested in, if you're somebody who can curate information and you have the time to do that, that's fine. We don't have to be a certified educator or, anything like that. So so definitely get on in there. You just only prerequisite is the CBE, and then we'll put you to work.
Okay. All right. So I failed to mention our goals overall, and then I'll bring Derek in because he's been pretty quiet. So our goals overall within the Black Blockchain Consultants is to have ultimately 10,000 Inner Circle members. Each member making a minimum of $150,000 per year, because I want you to have above average incomes. The third thing, which Dr. Keisha and Dwayne is working on, is 50,000 people educated per year, preferably our people educated per year on the blockchain, so that we can keep up and really have true change in our communities. And then the last thing is several either multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar businesses. So that's what we're working on. Some of the businesses will come together in large groups. Others, you may be part of an industry group, and you may take 5 or 6 people and create a $2-3 million business. Believe me, I will be doing a happy dance for anybody and everybody that can hit those goals. So I want you to know I'm like your number one cheerleader in here for whatever it is that you are looking to accomplish and to do. So,
Me too.
Derek, you have anything you want to say? You've been pretty quiet.
No, not at all. Just listening. I'm excited about what's going on. So, like I said, like as we keep saying, we're at the very genesis of something amazing. So, no matter, I think my mindset was with Dwayne from the beginning. So, I see where we can go and what we can do, and it's excited.
Good. Well, I'm going to do rapid fire and for a few more questions, and then we're going to have last minute comments from everybody before we head out here. So Andrea is asking, is there an email overview about the inner circle and all the course information? Andrea, I will send that out to you tomorrow morning. I will resend that to everybody in email. So Rashid is asking, do you have a pinned post on the Facebook page that lists the costs of the various group levels? No, we don't, but I can create that. So I'll create that. Naja's asking, all I was on the site, but could find out how to pay the $60. Oh, so Naja, it comes through your email. So as long as you are part of this Zoom, that should mean that you signed up for our Zoom webinar, which means you're on our email list. So tomorrow you will see a PayPal link and you'll be able to click that. And then there's a Google form as well that we ask you to fill out with just a few pieces of information. Beverly's saying, like Tawana, I'm not interested in coding, but is there a space for training content development within this group? I think we just answered that. What's the difference in the Python course we learn and the Code Academy's Python?
Oh, I can answer that.
Okay.
Code Academy, I've done that. I've done that about 2 years ago. What I didn't like about it is that when you get stuck, there's no one to help you. There was nobody to help me. I mean, Code Academy changed some of their things. They have like a $200 course. It's, now that they're supposed to have people to help you, or at least do code reviews, like 2 or 3 code reviews during the 10 weeks that you're doing it. But this Coursera, they have the professors that you can send emails to. You got other people that you're in class with during your whole session that you can ask questions to. In here, then you have us as well. So it's just a better quality. It's just better. I mean, Code Academy is fine. Like, you can do it, but it's not going to teach you as much as you're going to learn over here. It's just not.
Okay. Tawana is asking, Dr. Keisha, this question is for you. She's saying that she thought the 15 slots were filled. Do you still have additional slots on your education committee?
Yeah, Dwayne, I wanted to ask you about that because started off with the 15.
Here's the thing. I said 5 to 15. You know how when you're starting anything, when the group gets too big, it gets hard to do anything. So I wouldn't do more than 15. I didn't even expect 15 people to be on here. But we do need the bodies because it's going to be a lot of work. Because for me personally, that's why Cherie is your leader. Like me, I'm all about it, but I have like 10 things I'm doing. And I don't even know how, I don't want to drop the ball on anything, but it's going to be hard to get a bigger group of people going.
Well, what I was thinking, since our first task is to break down the CBE course, there seemed to be like different, like looking at the slides, I think there were like 24 of them.
Well, see,
So that,
all right. So, like, what we were gonna do is that, you know what? I'll open up a Google Drive document. We'll go through all of the different parts of it. We'll make a long thing, and everyone can just do
right.
one of those
That's kind of
pieces.
what I was thinking. Just
So yeah.
so at
So we
this
can,
point, so maybe we should wait, or
well,
how do
let's
we
do
to answer that question?
yeah, yeah. So
Just so
we'll see
everybody can raise.
how many pieces that we need, because all right. So now I got to see, it opens up another
Okay,
conversation.
so why don't we do this? Why don't we let you two decide offline, and then if you'll just put it in the main BBC Flock chat, if you're open to accepting new people, just let people know. Anonymous is asking, what's a CBE? CBE is Certified Blockchain Expert. You get that through blockchain-council.org, but pretty soon you'll be able to get it through the Center for Blockchain Studies, or whatever we're going to call it. Dr. Keisha and Dwayne are going to name it. I promise you, like, I'm a real hands-off person unless I just, like, absolutely hate something. I'm like, you guys can do whatever you want to do, So, Pam is asking here, Dwayne, this question is for you. It's Pam from DUIC, New York. I bought my daughter to the FEB meetup. I would like to join you and Dr. Keisha. We'll make the CBE this weekend. So she's saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Valerie is saying, I'm completely new to this call. Welcome, Valerie. I love what I'm hearing. What are the steps to get started? So tomorrow, I will send the replay of this email, of this call, as well as the steps to get started, Valerie. And we'd love to have you as part of the inner circle. So Tawana is saying, I was getting the Zoom emails, but the last 2 meetings I didn't get the email. I had to get it through Facebook. Okay, so Tawana, I know what happened. I was fooling around in Zoom. I accidentally deleted one of the blockchain consultant emails, and if you were connected to it through Outlook on your calendar, then people were saying that it got disconnected. So just re-download all of them to Outlook, but it's the 4th Monday of every month. So now we've been meeting every week for like the past 6 weeks. Now we're just going to monthly. So the 4th Monday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be our general meeting time. Jamie's asking, can we still form a group for Block Geeks, or did they just shut it down? You should still hopefully be able to form a group. You'll need to form a separate group though. Anonymous is saying, Dwayne mentioned the cutoff days for those of us who are in the inner circle from day one. That's a good idea. I'm hearing the same questions being asked by newbies every week. We'll consider it. We'll consider it. So we have some things that we haven't announced yet coming up. So we're trying to make sure all of that stuff is going to mesh together. How long is the Python course? Charlene is asking this. It's going to take you about 8 months to finish. So this is a long-term thing. But if you consider that we've got a 10-year window with making money for this thing, spending a year with us, with this core group, becoming a CBE, learning Python, learning about the blockchain, learning about Solidity or these other platforms, it's going to make you so much stronger, and you should be able to blow through that minimum income that we're really reaching for. Somebody is saying here, I need help with Flock. Can anyone help me with that? Is that from this group? I am part of so many great groups. Oh, Rasana, hey, yeah, email.
Hey, yeah. Hi, Rasana.
Yeah, email me. You've got my information. I know that some people were saying with Flock that they are, some of their chats have been disappearing, or some of their groups. One thing that came out is you may have clicked the X mark on the left-hand side, which deleted you from that group itself. So I don't know if that is the issue. And then sometimes, like for me, I look on the right-hand side. So let me do this right now. Let me share my screen with regards to Flock. here. And I just want people, I don't know if people can see the right-hand side of my screen, but just let me know in chat if you guys are seeing the right-hand side, because these, for example, are all of my channels that I have access to. And no matter what is happening on the left-hand side of the screen, I can always see the channels on the right-hand side of the screen. So I'm sure some people will tell me if that is the issue or not. Yeah, so we got 2 more questions here. Start with 15 for now. I think this is in regards to the education. I will get too unorganized like the DU group. Well, that's up to Dr. Keisha and Dwayne. So, oh, and Precia, she said she just made a payment. Thank you so much for joining the inner circle. I think you're going to have a good time. So with that, all of our questions are answered. So we're going to have final comments. Derek, we'll start with you.
No, like I said before, just looking forward to all we're doing. I mean, as we keep saying, the sky's the limit for where we're trying to go. We're jumping into new technology, and just all of us just get together and work together. I think we're going to be able to meet and well exceed what you said about your minimum limits. That's truly the minimum. So.
Yeah. I just had one quick question. I think Karen and some other people were asking me about the computers. To code in Python, you should be using a Mac. Python doesn't need a Mac, but the command line and Bash, like how to deploy stuff, that's easier with the Mac. Everything is easy, and everything is like Mac centric. Like when the coders are coding and they're thinking, because Bash is Unix, right? So Unix, you need a form of Unix. Like Windows PowerShell can do some of these things, but it's going to be a little different. And they should go through. I think they should tell you about all of that stuff in the Python course on Python for Everybody. They should explain all of that stuff to you guys. But as a regular PC, I don't think that if you had a PC that's less than like 5 years old, you should be fine.
To answer that too, I see there's a install for Windows 10 for Python in here.
Right, yeah. So you can use it, but it's just easier with the Mac.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tanji, don't worry about the Mac computer. Dwayne is saying that if you have a computer, laptop less than 5 years old, you should be okay. So we don't want people running out, incurring unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't want you to run around and say no, because it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement.
I don't have a Mac.
It's not a requirement for you to have it. You can still get through, but it's just a couple of different things you have to do that you wouldn't have to do if you had a Mac.
Yeah.
That's all.
So people are saying okay because they got nervous.
I know.
So Dwayne,
I'm like,
Who's the only one in here that got a Mac?
Is everybody else PC?
Exactly, PC.
So Dwayne, why don't you give some final comments to everybody now that you scared them sufficiently?
Yeah, I think I'm excited about the group. I hope that you guys keep me accountable. Like, you know, and this is something I felt passionately about because I always want to do it, and I always find a way to like get, you know, everything else gets in the way. So for me, this is more of a accountability thing. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's easier for me to cheat on myself, but I can't cheat on my friends and the people that actually I got to produce for. So you know, I just have to make it more of a priority to get the work done. My group, the 7 or 8 people in my group, we're meeting on Thursday nights, 9 to 11. Thursday nights, 9 to 11. This week, the first, you got to have week 1 done in our Python course. So I expect to see everybody there. I'll send out emails to you guys. Oh, there's another thing too. I wanted to, I'm gonna have to ask Cherie to do this, but I wanted to send Cherie a document with my groups, all the people that are in my group and the time for my group. So if other people come in to the group or they miss their study group or whatever, they can join another person's study group. I don't know how we're gonna set that up, but I think that'll be, you know, like if you miss your section, like, you know, this is hard, you know, we're dealing with our lives and stuff, but if you miss your study group and you want to catch up with another study group, we should pretty much have a a list of what days we meet and what we'll be going over during that study group. So if you miss yours, you can still catch up with the Friday one, or you can catch up with the Saturday one, or any other one that's that you haven't seen yet, that's going over that first or second or third or fourth or 15th week, of the Python class. So I'll work with Cherie to get that done.
We'll figure out something. So, Dr. Keisha?
Oh, I just want to encourage everybody, let's keep going forward. We got a great group here. I guess I'm just ready to get started. I'm loving that I have a focus now too. I felt like, when you had that earlier meeting and everybody was just like everywhere, I feel much more focused now and ready to get going.
Yeah. And I will say that, first of all, the government blockchain expert, I did take a good look at that. I want to go to one of their conferences. I think it's in a couple of weeks. No, I think it's in May. Sorry, I think it's in May. So I will take a close look at that association, because they have a government blockchain expert certification as well, for people who are thinking about government work. The second thing is, I'm very serious always about FOMO and about taking on too much. I know that there are some people that have just taken on too much. And I just want to encourage you to always think about your end goal and see how you can leverage what we're doing here with some of the other things that are going on and happening in your life. Because this should be an add-on. It's going to be tough. You're going to need to spend a certain amount of hours per week doing this, but this should be an add-on to the other things that you are doing within your life and within your business. So I just want to, again, encourage everybody to just stick with it, at least for a couple of months, and get through those hard times and get a rhythm. And then once we get the rhythm, then we'll come back and talk about the consulting company and all of that stuff. But right now, just get your studies done and focus on that. So I see 2 more questions here. So Dwayne is asking, for you, Dwayne, will you send out that email to your group members? I'm not sure what email.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it. I'll do it. By tomorrow night, you'll have an email. You'll have an email.
Yeah, and then someone is asking, is there a way to bypass the free trial and just start the class? I tried that. I couldn't do it. So
I think when you click on something, the price, the place for your credit card pops up.
I couldn't find it, so I'm going to try it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. God bless everyone. I hope you have a great evening. And it's the so let me tell you the next date that we're having our call. So it's the 4th Monday of every month. So it will be April 23rd at 8 p.m. will be our general membership meeting. And in the meantime, of course, you can always find us on Flock and in our social media. God bless everyone and have a good evening.
Thank you.